her the last couple of years, losing her amazing coach, Ken. But Curtis, his son, stepped in and has taken over coaching of Jessica. So we're very grateful to Curtis. It's taking them some time to get in the swing of going from Curtis being an athlete to being a coach and that. But they're doing amazing job, and Jessica is, as I said, she's just working so hard. And Ken always said, and Curtis says as well, she's such a pleasure to coach because there's never any argument. You tell her what to do and she goes out and gives 150%. So she's working hard. She did, as you said, had great races in the series she just did in Quebec. So she's ready. She wants to get going. There will be very good competition for her, especially in the 100 with Kelsey Lefevre from the U.S. Kelsey's the only other person we know with the same disability as Jessica. So they're going to be head to head. Unfortunately, the Canadian girls, Jessica and Elena, will not be going to Peru. So Kelsey, I think, will be the main competition for Jessica.
Now, it's quite cold there, as it is for winter. Any concerns about her being in those conditions? I know she resides in Canada at times, and but to be out there, and I know during the men's long jump, the night Tyrone jumped, there was like a mist, and it just, you didn't realize it until you came out of the stadium where your clothes were wet.
Right.
You know, so just to be aware of that, because it is extremely cold, and the sun only comes out for an hour. In Lima.
Well, fortunately, Jessica's races are short. The 1, 4, and 8 she'll be doing. So they get warmed up pretty quickly in the races and that. So I'm sure she'll be fine. She's a sensible girl, and she's got long sleeve equipment and that. With the drizzle or the dew that you were talking about, they might need to use the clister that they use, which is like a sap that they put on their gloves so they can get traction on the wheels. But they'll be down there a couple of days early to figure all of that out. So
now, you had the chance during the Rio Olympics to be around the bocce group. Yes. A very lovable group, a lot of fun to be around. But what we saw in Rio, do you expect a lot different now that they've been to these international competitions, that they've gotten these under the belt in the Pan Am?
I think, their confidence is way up there now. They've all three of them, Yushai, Omar, and Steve, they've all placed really well in the last year anyway. So, they're very confident. They're training, so dedicated to the training. I saw them on Saturday training, and they're ready to go and very excited. And it'll be great to have a big team now. We've got 4 athletes on the para side, which is very exciting.
Sitting there watching these athletes, it takes a lot, because I remember telling you, I was stunned by the way they went about their lives, normal for them, but we see it as a challenge where they just compete differently.
That's right. Well, that's their normal. So they know what they're capable of doing, and to see them out there doing it, we do, as you said, we sit there and go, wow, that's amazing, but that's their normal. So we need to give these para athletes so much credit as the able-bodied athletes, because they are out there, they're training just as hard and working just as hard, and it's just incredible to be there and watch them.
This is one of the first major events that you'll miss, or will be missing.
It is the first one.
How do you plan to?
It's going to be very hard to sit here, and I've already put Coach Curtis on notice that I need to be kept updated as soon as it happens. And Earl, we are so happy that you are going. It was a very last-minute decision, and we're so happy that you're going, and I know you'll give us amazing coverage. So I'm counting on you too, Earl, as it happens.
I'll have you on speed dial.
There we go. Excellent.
But I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity once again to experience these amazing athletes in action in a high-level competition. Not only the Bermuda lot, but just to see the other athletes around the world. I'm still amazed at what I was able to witness in Brazil when you start talking about wheelchair tennis and blind football.
Mhm.
You know, you have people in chairs doing fencing, and you know, just swimming with, you know, one arm or one leg,
That's
or
right. There's no
you know,
limit.
yeah,
There's no limit.
yeah, and with a big smile on their face.
Mhm.
So you know, you sit there and you say, "Wow, if only I had that courage or that determination just to do it." But that, like you said, that's their norm.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah.
good luck on the soon-to-be grandmother.
Thank you. Thank you. Any day. Any day.
And that's your reason for not going.
That's it.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
if
So,
all goes well, you'll have a new baby and a new Pan American gold medal all in the same week.
yeah.
How's
Yeah.
that?
That sounds like a great plan.
Can
So,
you enlighten us on when Jessica's races are? Do you
Yeah.
know them now?
So opening ceremony, as you said, is the 23rd.
Mhm.
Jessica starts right away on the 24th. The 800 is the 24th. The 26th is the 400, and then the much anticipated 100 is on the 28th.
Okay.
And then bocce starts the next day, the 29th.
Right.
They've got their individuals the 29th and 30th, and then the finals are the afternoon of the 30th.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, it'll be a
busy
packed-
week.
Yes, definitely, definitely. So very happy that Anne Lindroth, the president of Bermuda Paralympic Association, is going. She actually headed out this morning to Peru as our chef de mission, and has many years
Yes.
experience with the para games, having been with Sandy Mitchell for
Yes,
years
yes.
and years.
Yeah.
So the team will be in great hands.
Yes.
So
Indeed.
yeah, so our team, if I can quickly just
Sure.
say,
Sure.
yep. So it'll be Jessica for athletics with her coach Curtis Tom, and then our three bocce players: Uche De Silva, Andre, Omar Hayward, and Steve Wilson,
Mhm.
and their coach Troy. And then the bocce group are allowed sport partners, so
Right.
there will be three additional people going to help out with them. And then of course, yours truly, Earl Baisden, for the press and that. So it'll be a great team, and so excited.
Yes. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good luck,
Yeah.
and we'll keep you
And
in.
I'd just like to say one other thank you. Toyota is a worldwide Paralympic partner now, and they have very kindly, we're going to be doing some vignettes like the Pan Am team did.
Okay.
So look out for those on the radio, and thank you, Toyota, for sponsoring
Oh,
those.
great stuff.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay,
Don't even go there. Don't even go there. Welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio on this Monday, August 19th. Mr. Rollins has a little something in his throat, and we will not allow him to get it out. But we do have in studio Donna Reyna, the president of the Bermuda National Athletic Association. Donna, welcome, first of all.
Welcome. Thank you for having me. And welcome. Thank you to Bermuda.
The
Hi.
countdown is on. Are you down to days yet, or are you still in the months?
Am I?
Down to days
Days
counting?
and months.
Oh yeah, we're down to days. If you look on our
Yeah,
website,
the countdown days.
you see days, hours, minutes, and seconds.
Oh,
good.
hello.
There you
Excuse
go.
me.
Obviously, it's going to be a lot of work pulling this off. You guys done it, what was it, 4 years?
We did 2012, 4 years ago.
No, 7
Next
years. Yeah, right.
2012.
Right. Using the same platform, but just tightening up things. How are things shaping up thus far?
I have to say I'm very, very pleased with where we are with Carifta 2020. I'm also pleased to say that we have a lot of sponsors on board.
Okay.
I'm very pleased to say that. And we have right now, we have 3 areas that we're focusing on in preparation. And that's just right here at this moment. These 3 areas are kind of our goals for September. So basically, how we're looking at Carifta, how our preparation is going is month by month, we have different things that we're focusing on. Also, our advertising campaign is month by month. So each month we're doing something starting from, well, as you know, our launch was 24th of May.
Mm-hmm.
So during the summer, we kind of just posted a few things, let everybody know how the athletes are going. And then when it comes to September, we have 3 lines of focus. Number 1 is preparation of our athletes. So we're going to be having someone coming down to doing some system testing on our athletes, so we can find out what the strengths and weaknesses are,
Mm-hmm.
so that we can get our athletes prepared. So, if they need more distance running, we get the distance running. If they need more weight training, we're getting the weight training. So all of them will be tested.
Mhm.
And as you know, we're getting our officials ready. We'll probably have to put on an officials course at some point for the officials that did not assist in 2012. We have to make sure that they are all certified. So that's another area that we're focusing on. The next area, of course, is looking for volunteers. So we've already sent out, something to the media, basically asking for volunteers. Now, the big thing that we have scheduled for September is we're having a pep rally, September the 6th. So the pep rally will start because we're going to have a motorcade that starts at Parsons Road at the field.
Yeah.
And we'll be motorcading along from there over Teals Hill. We're going to go through Court Street because that's our people. That's our people who come out and support us. So we go Court Street up to Church Street, make a left down by the fire station along Reed Street up to City Hall. So at City Hall, we'll have some performances. We're looking at St. George's Majorettes. We'll also have some speeches from our ministers. We've confirmed Minister of Sport, Minister Fogo. Mr. De Silva said he may or may not be on the island. If he's on the island, he will definitely participate. And of course, I will make a short speech, and then we'll be having giveaways and just starting to get the country involved and knowing that CRIFTA is happening. And as I said, we pick up our marketing from now onwards. We will be announcing an initiative because we are working with another sporting organization because their event is very close to ours.
Yeah.
So we're kind of working. We've had a meeting and we're going to be working hand in hand on some of the marketing campaigns and so on and so forth. So things really are moving well. Like I said, what I'm really pleased with right now is the number of sponsors that are jumping on board. And I think part of it is our marketing campaign has been really fierce. It's really way more active than we've ever had it. We have our Facebook page, which is updated every day. I mean, we had flags at the county game on Saturday. So we have an Instagram page. So we've reached out to several people. So people are coming back to us, asking us questions. People are stopping me on the street, asking me, how can I assist with CRIFTA? When are the tickets going on sale? The tickets will go on sale on September 6th when we have the pep rally. That will be our launch of our tickets as well. So right now for me, the games are going to be fantastic. The one thing that we are doing different next year that no CRIFTA has ever done, we're having a torch relay.
Okay.
So we haven't decided where we're going to start from, but I definitely know that we want to be using some of our past athletes. We're not going to have them running a mile.
Right.
Earl, we'll probably have them maybe running, maybe 200, 400 meters at the most.
Right.
And it will probably be a short distance to the stadium before we start the opening ceremony. So that's going to be something new. Every time they come to Bermuda, we give them something new.
Right.
Like the opening ceremony on Friday night. That was the first time that had ever been done for CRIFTA. So, we like to, make things a little bit different when we host CRIFTA.
Of late, you've been talking about quality, not quantity. Will we see the same? I know when you get a chance to host it at home, you have a little leniency of allowing more athletes in. Are we still looking for quality than quantity this time around?
We're definitely looking at quality, which is one of the reasons we're doing this system-based testing with our athletes. As you know, we have several athletes that are overseas that will be coming in. One of the other things we're looking at is at least 3 international overseas competitions for our athletes before CRIFTA. So it'll probably be 2 indoor meets, and we're looking at a meet possibly Barbados, in one of the Caribbean countries where we know it's going to be hot, so those guys could also compete outdoors. So we have a plan. As I tell everybody, we're going to put on a great show, but I also want to put on a great show on the track as well. So my thing is not, Bermuda hosted CRIFTA and it was great. I want Bermuda to be, applauding, flags flying, because we have athletes on the podium as well. So our goal is we're looking for quality. Last time I think we had like about 80 athletes. We're probably not going to have that. I mean, even us sending the athletes to the NECAC under 18, under 23.
Right.
That was part, but also the NECAC age group,
Age
because
group,
we
right.
have some of those athletes that will meet the criteria for Carifta next year. And we've already got our eyes on some athletes that could possibly be hurdlers as well.
Yeah.
So we're even looking at, well, we've already started training with athletes on hurdlers. We started that earlier this year. So we're looking to continue that September. So basically for us, which is why we're having a meeting with our parents end of August, everything starts for real in September. And that's training of the athletes plus us preparing for the games.
Right. Have you had words with the Bermuda School Sports Federation about their inter-school sports?
We have discussed that, and we want to probably have a meeting with them to discuss. And I mean, Dr. Evans Freddie is basically head of the organizational side when it comes to the officials, the kind of making sure that all that part. So we'll probably have him have a meeting with them to discuss how the inter-school sports can assist towards Carifta, assist in preparation. One thing that I talked to, I think it was the minister and Russell from BCB yesterday at the game was, we've got to all work together. 1 year we had an athlete who was a sprinter, and they had him doing high jump. They got injured and didn't go Carifta. We've got to work hand in hand. If these athletes are going to be representing Bermuda in the 400 meters in inter-school sports, please just have them do 400. They don't need to be doing long jump. They don't need to be doing javelin. They don't need to be doing high jump.
Yeah, what happens in schools is they want your points, so they just stick the athletes.
This is a different year. We're having Carifta in Bermuda, so I think we all need to work together. I mean, even for me, when the Cricket Board Association and BNAA worked together with Nairobi, because as you know, Nairobi went to NACAG under 18, under 23. Straight from there, he had to fly over to Canada. So we kind of worked together so that he was able to have both experiences. And that's my goal with the PE teachers. Work with us. We're putting on a show. The world's going to be watching. Let's get our athletes on the podium. Let's not let us lose our athletes because they're injured through something they did at inter-school sports or school sports. I understand the points. I understand you want to be in all that type of stuff. But I think for the sake of us having a successful Carifta, let's work together.
I'm sorry,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, man.
No, good. You go.
Somebody asked a question.
Okay, so it goes like this. No, I'm just kidding. September 6th. What time is the event that gets underway for the march through Hamilton, through Court Street, King Street, Green Street, and to the City Hall? This gets underway at 11 o'clock,
It
12
starts
o'clock?
we're going to be leaving Parsons Road at 12 o'clock. And the rally itself starts at 12:30 at City Hall, 12:30 to 2:30. And we're hoping to end it with the gun base. We're just trying to finalize and confirm. But we want to end it with that because we want this to be, as you know, Carifta is a carnival party atmosphere. So we want to make our rally the same thing. We have a DJ there with music playing and so on and so forth. So we want to get people to get the feel of what Carifta Games is going to be like. So 12 o'clock, 12:30.
This is the first of its kind happening in Bermuda for Carifta, having this type of rally.
Yes, we have never had a rally. So like I said, our advertising, we have a plan. We have an advertising plan. And you know who our advertising marketing person is. So basically they put together a full plan of all the things that we need to do to get Carifta out there to the public. Like we did last time, we had ads on the buses. We wrapped the bus. We had the airport. We had banners going to run the city of Hamilton. We're looking at doing the same thing this year for next year.
I know you meant. It's all good. It's all good. You're on pace. What is, well, I shouldn't say what's different. You explained a lot of things that are different going for 2020. This year, I'm like you, 2020 is a type of event that is going to be spectacular for the event itself, meaning Carifta. Why so? Why is it special? Well, each one is special, but it's different from 2012.
Well, I think, we had a successful Carifta in 2012. As you know, the stadiums were full. We had to turn people away. And I think if you're going to have games in your country, you want to make it better. So you want to add some things to it to make it better. So for us, 2012 was a great success. We want 2020 to be even a greater success. And the other thing we've got to think about, with us hosting Carifta 2020 is it's the same year as the Olympics. If anybody looks at how I have bid for Carifta, they'll notice it's always been the Olympic year. And it's for several reasons. One of the reasons is you get more support. You get more financial support overseas as well when you host an event during the Olympic year. Also, if we have athletes that are trying to qualify for the Olympics, it makes the event even bigger. As you remember, in 2012, Kashan Wolcott won the javelin, and he went on to win the Olympics as well. So that bodes well for us.
And then
So
4 years later, you had Shelly Ann Price.
you
who
had
ran
Shelly Ann,
the-
yep, and then you had Usain Bolt, as everybody knows, broke the world record, junior record in 2004. So the more we can do during that year, the more history it is for Bermuda as a country. And I think people are starting to catch on that Carifta is not Carifta athletics, because there seems to be a lot of Cariftas
There's a
coming.
lot of Carifta.
Carifta
Yeah, you're
athletics
right.
has a lot of history, and that's what I say to people. This is historic for Bermuda because Bermuda has been participating in Carifta since its inception in 1972. We have never missed a Carifta.
Wow.
Also, out of Carifta, we've had close to 200 athletes that have gained scholarships, and that's through Carifta. So it's a lot of history. It's a lot that we have gained from Carifta Games. When we have Carifta, wherever it is in the world, there's about 50 plus coaches that come from U.S. schools, looking for athletes. And we've been able to get athletes scholarships. I mean, as you know, I went on the athletic scholarships, and it was because we were all seen at the Carifta Games. So Carifta Games carries much more than just it's an athletic event. This is, something that, as I said, this is taking some of our athletes who would never get that opportunity to universities. They're coming back and they're giving back, to Bermuda's community. So I think it's a whole lot with Carifta athletics, as I'll keep on saying, other than us just having this.
I think your Congress is going to have to make it known that you're going to have to change it a little bit to make it Carifta athletics because of these other Cariftas that have popped up.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but when you start talking about athletes giving back, how going forward, how do we plan to keep these athletes involved if they're not participating on the track or doing a field event, involved in the administration side? Because it's been a tough ride, hasn't it?
It's been tough because what I find is a lot of athletes. I mean, if you look at our program, we have most of the coaches that we have are former Carifta athletes.
Yes.
From an administrative side, I think it becomes a little bit different. It's a little bit hard. I mean, you have to give 100% of your time, as you know. And I mean, my board would tell you sometimes 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, they're receiving emails from me. I mean, it's just ever going. So to sit on the administrative side, number one, you've got to have the passion for the sport. I think you have to have a lot of knowledge of the sport. And you've got to understand the administrative side of it as well, because it's a lot. I mean, I'm dealing with the IAAF on a regular basis. I mean, we're getting ready for World Championships, as you know. Final entries have to be in. The final entries open today. They have to be in by a certain amount of time. So we've got to go in. We've got to get that information. At the end of the year, we have to send in an IAAF report. Also, with youth in sport, we have to send in a report, a request for grants. So it's much more to it than just running the sport.
Right.
It's a whole lot. Also, even media relations is important that you build media relationships so that your sport is out there. So it's a whole lot to it than, okay, I'm going to go up there, put a coaching program together, coach my athletes. I see them 2 days and then that's it. For an administrator, it's ongoing and it never stops. In the summer, when athletes take a break, the administrators don't take a break because we've got, as you know, events now all summer long, and we've got to prepare. We've got to find funds. It's a lot.
Will you be Will you be looking to have just as many track meets as you did last year, or will you be cutting them back to make them more focused on what needs to be focused on?
That's one of the things that we discussed at our board meeting last week. And again, we want our track meets to be more quality than quantity. And I know a couple of years ago what we did, we had meets with specific events. We
Yeah.
had some meets where we just had sprints.
Mhm.
Some meets we just had throwing. So we're gonna go back to that, but we need to add in more meets. So you'll probably see more Wednesday or Thursday night meets
Mhm.
because we need to give these athletes as much exposure, experience as possible. And that's why the 3 meets overseas this year are very, very, very important.
Mhm.
Because if I look at last year, we had some athletes that went to 2 indoor meets. Nairobi was one.
Mhm.
He got the gold medal at Carifta.
Yeah.
Getting that international experience just sharpens the athletes a little bit more.
Right.
And we have to do that for us to be successful for next year.
This year marked 47 years. 47 years for Bermuda participating in Carifta since 1972. Next year will be 48. You touched on something about when you were bidding for Bermuda hosting the Carifta Games, 2012, 2020. Do the math, that's 8 years. 2028. So you'll be around, you think, for 2028 president? I mean, because you say you're bidding, so I just did the little math right there and looked at it. I'm just saying, you never know.
In reality,
Yeah.
I probably won't be around.
But you never know, right? Anything's possible, right?
Anything's possible, but
I'm
more
just
than
saying.
likely, I won't be around in 2028
Okay.
As the president.
as the president.
Right.
Yes,
yeah.
I will always be involved in track and field.
Right.
That is my life. That is my passion. So even if I step down as president, I will still be involved with track and field. I mean, this, like I said, this is my life. This life has given me way more than I would ever have thought. I mean, end of September, I'm heading off to Doha.
Right.
I mean, I might have gone to Doha on my own, but maybe not. But it has, and not even just the traveling, but the people that I've met. I mean, myself, President Sebco, we are close as could be. Any questions that I have or concerns, I know I can contact him, and him and I can have a conversation. When we're traveling, we have conversations. So not just the traveling, but the people that I've met, the experiences that I've gained. And I guess I can reveal this now. I will be running for IAAF council member position at the election in September. So we had to make a presentation when we were in Mexico. And what my presentation was geared to, I feel that my journey towards trying to become a council member has been secure and it's been adequate, where I've been able to be an athlete. I was a coach. I started a track club. I'm in the administration. I'm part of the BOA. I was on the NACAC. So to me, everything has prepared me to be able to run for this position. And as I told him, I don't do anything unless I feel I'm prepared and ready. I'm not just going to put my hand up and say, you know what? I think this year I'm going to run as a IAAF council member. That's not how it works for me.
Right.
I make sure that I'm ready. If I don't get selected, so be it. I still know that I gave 100% because it's 13 women running, 7 positions for women, because they have to have 7 women on the council.
How many people looking to return out of the 13?
Out of the 13 right now, it's 2 that are returning. This is the largest amount of women they've ever had running for council positions.
Why the change? Why do you see this influx of women?
Well, because President Co is very much about diversity. As you know, I already sit on one of the boards of the IAAF, which is the IAF, the foundation, funding foundation. And what he is doing is in every single committee and association that he has, or in the Constitution, there has to be a certain percentage of women. So it increased this year to 7. It's not always been 7. And every year from now until when we have elections, the number of women on the board is going to increase. So with him, generating that sort of, not even interest, but putting on the stamp and saying, this is what I want. You have countries that are resistant, I could tell you.
Yes.
If you think of some of these countries, Africa, some of those countries, they really resisted. When we had that vote, they weren't like excited, like, oh, you want to bring more women in. So some have resisted, but the majority are like, let's do it. And if you look in our NACAC region, we have the largest amount of female presidents in any country in the world. So, we're already ahead of the game. So I just think women just feel now in this sport that they're accepted.
Mm.
You know, President Coe is touting diversity, and so I think people are taking that and running with it. Also, last year we all attended, not all, but they sent out invites to specific women to attend a women's leadership conference. So I attended that in London, and basically, and that's kind of what kind of got me thinking. You know, maybe it's time, because all the women have said, "Donna, just go for it, just go for it."
Right.
They're trying to get me to run for NACAC president, but you have to have a lot of time,
Right.
because as president of NACAC, you have to be traveling
Go
every
all
month,
over the thing,
and I have a full time job, so I couldn't do that.
Right.
But I felt okay, IAAF, and then I had already been on the NACAC board, so I didn't even run for that this year.
Right.
You know, for me, I'm focusing on one goal, one objective, and my goal objective is IAAF council member.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm not going to try NACAC and try IAAF.
Right,
I just want one or the other. So.
Right.
I just think women just feel right now that the door has been opened for us.
Right.
Cool.
I got one final question, because it's gotta have come up in you guys talks of late, and that is the transgender competitions, or people competing in these. And it's so much noise has been made about it in the sport of track and field. How in the back has it been discussed to come up with a reasonable and a rational decision on how this is going to work out? Because right now you have this to and fro, and you got all these people talking, but nothing's coming out of officially from.
Well, it has come out officially. The athletes cannot compete at IAAF World Championships.
Okay.
They are now not allowed to compete, and they're
Okay.
probably not going to be allowed to compete in the Olympics. So
Okay.
that has been the decision. And I mean, basically the IAAF put that forward. Casa Semenya, as you know, she kind of, you know, took it to court.
Right.
Unfortunately, she lost.
Right.
It went to Cass, and Cass came back and said, this is the decision.
Right.
So she's not able to compete. I have my opinion,
Mhm.
but because I'm running for the IAAF council, I am not gonna say. I make sure even on Facebook when people post stuff, I don't
Right.
say anything.
Right.
Because the interesting thing, running for this council, we had to get vetted.
Right.
It took 2 weeks. They vet you.
Yes.
They monitor your
Yeah.
pace,
Yeah.
everything. I mean, this is really a serious thing. This is not like, okay, I'm just running for a position.
Right.
You know, I could still say, do whatever I like.
Right. Right.
We are monitored right up until that election.
Mhm.
So I have my view,
Yes.
which I could talk to you offline, but I can't talk about it
Right.
online because I don't know who's going to watch this interview.
Right.
And so,
Yeah.
but yeah, the decision has come down that they will not. It's not just her; it's a few other
Right.
athletes as well.
Right.
They will not be able to compete in the world
But they
championships.
are allowed to compete in their regional events and or
They could
local events.
They could compete in the regional events. They can also compete in longer distance events.
Okay.
Any event over 1,500.
Right. Right.
They're able to, like, they could do 3,000 meter steeplechase, 5,000, 10,000. They could do that, but they can't do from 1,500 down. They
Down,
can't
right,
compete in those
right.
events.
Okay. Well,
Well, we'll stay tuned because it's becoming increasingly more and more and more. So it's just, you know, people are saying it's an unfair advantage. It's this, it's that. We'll just wait to see how it all.
So, you think it's going to stop there at the Olympics? It's going to go in other
Actually,
events?
I just honestly feel they're gonna have to have a game to their own. That's the only way to level the playing field. Because you can't have a guy competing against a girl but you have those two guys in college doing it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a disadvantage to the girl. I know Donna's just sitting there, but it's a disadvantage because of the strength and the body mass of the.
All I'm going to say with Earl, and this is all I'm going to say, is you also have to look at the amount of work that some of these athletes put in.
Right.
And I'll leave it at that.
It may come up in Carifta. I said it may come up in Carifta. You know that,
Sooner than later.
I mean, anything that happens in the IAAF comes down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that ruling basically is in place for us anyway. So if the IAAF makes any ruling, basically NACAC, Carifta, anybody that falls under it, we all fit into that same. Any international event kind of fits into that same criteria.
Yeah, I got it. So my point is, somebody's gonna come out there and correct them. You know that. You're gonna have your challenges. You got it in writing. You said you got the rules. Why the IAAF? You're gonna follow it. I get it. What's gonna happen?
We'll see.
We'll see.
Come out and see tomorrow's stars or today's stars in March. When is it? April of next
April
year.
10th to the 13th.
Yeah, because
2020.
believe it or not, most of the youngsters that competed in 2012 here in Bermuda, you still see their names. You still see them taking on the world. Just at the Pan Am Games, so, you know, a lot of those competed here in Bermuda.
Exactly.
You know,
And I could tell you, if you look at our athletes that competed in 2019, remember they're all eligible. The athletes that won gold medals in Carifta 2019, they will be competing in 2020.
Right.
And as you know, we do have our little star, Caitlin Bob, who has been tearing it up in the U.S. She teared it up at Carifta. She teared it up at Pan Am under 18, and I'm sure she's going to be ready to tear it up in 2020. You know, we have our little stars as well that I think is going to put on a big show. And as I said, my goal is that it's not just going to be a few. My goal is that we're going to have a lot to cheer about in 2020. And I tease the minister all the time, because when we were at Congress, and I told it to her yesterday, we were talking, I said, when we were at Congress and she got up and made her speech, I said, you put all this pressure on me. She said, I can't wait till you all come to Bermuda next year so we can beat you up. I said, okay, Minister, thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's Bermuda talk. That's Bermuda talk.
Thank you for putting that pressure on me. She said, no, we're just willing it into existence. I said, okay, but we got to do a lot to will it into existence. Like, it's not just going to happen. So,
thank you very much for joining us.
You're welcome.
It's a pleasure. Actually, I'm meeting with your marketing team tomorrow.
Yeah.
There you go.
And for anybody that wants to volunteer, just go on our website, carifta2020bda.com, and they can sign up as a volunteer.
Let's Talk Radio. Joining us in the studio is Mr. Conrad, Mr. Department of Support. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon.
All is well?
Yep, thank you for having me.
Real quick, just how did it feel this year not participating in government?
It was an adjustment.
It was an
It was
adjustment.
a big adjustment. But I got through it.
Yeah?
I got through it, yeah. And helping out with the team and being there as an assistant coach in that capacity kind of helped with my transition. But it was still a little difficult.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay.
Do me one favor, boss. Can you hold up your right hand? That's all I want.
You know what he's trying to say there,
That's
right?
fine. Well, I'm watching Bermuda, supporting Bermuda, and this just what happens to be one communication colors VIP wristband.
They even know what's up. So yeah.
Nice jersey, by the way. You ain't got victory over the weekend.
Thank you. Liverpool.
Yeah.
Thank you very kindly. Thank you
Never
very
walk
much.
alone.
Never walk alone. All right?
Yeah.
And the cop going back to Somerset.
It's been a good couple months.
You know what I'm saying? All right.
Very important.
So moving forward,
You beat Southampton.
and moving forward, 3 points.
Southampton.
2 points clear.
Thank you very much. Leading table.
Yeah.
That's like
2 points clear of Man City. That's the only team I'm worried about.
That's like
The
actually.
gentleman over here is a Man United fan.
Yeah, I'm not worried about all the other teams. Just
I hear
Man
you.
City. So that's why I say we're 2 points clear.
There you go, sir.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. All right. And Mr. Bates don't have a team, so he ain't got nothing to worry about. So with that said, you got a sports conference coming up next month. Explain to us what it entails.
All right. Conference is goes through discussing long-term athlete development. I am in a partnership with Sports for Life from Canada, also in a partnership with the Positive Coaching Alliance, who have came to Bermuda in the past to put on workshops for coaches. But now I'm looking to broaden it a bit. And this sports conference will have something for athletes, parents, administrators, and coaches alike. It'll be something for everyone, anybody to do this sport at this conference if you're looking to personally develop your craft.
So this sounds like administration, sounds like coaching, and just the athlete himself understanding what it entails.
And parents. Parents
So
as
there's
well.
something for everyone.
Something for everyone. If you let me go through my, how much time I have? I want to go through.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Go through
so
your syllabus.
I want to go through the weekend. So on the Friday night, we were having a panel discussion hosted by that young man over there in the blue shirt, Mr. Earl Baston. We will have Sean Goda, Sullivan Phillips, Couture Horton, Parent Chief, Brian Velman, and Macy O'Deal discussing sport. Where it came from, where it's at now, what do we need to do moving forward, different things like that. And all of those panelists will put their opinion on it and discuss it. So that's Friday evening. That's open to the general public. And if persons want to come, they will just have to email me and put their name down. Moving forward, we have coaching courses. So we have something called Coaching for Winning and Life Lessons. We have something called Positive Motivation, which goes deeper into feeling emotional things. So it's about coaches really learning what they have to do to their athletes so that they get the best out of them. We're not talking about tactics and technical aspect of sport. It's about the mental aspect of sport. Building relationship with your players so that in turn you get the best output from them. So relationships. Also, we discussed long-term athlete development. Also discussed for parents athletic scholarships in the U.S. You know what parents, different routes you could take to try to get an athletic scholarship in the U.S. Leading your organization, so that's developing a positive coaching culture within your organization. We have one for the parent because parents play a role in developing athletes. Some do better than others, but for parents we have something called the second girl parent, developing winners in life and sport. So it talks about to help parents focus on the second goal, which is ensuring their children gain a higher value of youth and sports regardless of the scoreboard results. All right, so
regardless of the final score.
Right, so we have a lot of parents who are shout and and I'm guilty. I do that sometimes. I'm sure I'll do it when my son gets old enough to play sports.
You better take this course now.
Yeah, I might have to take it just to prepare myself. But at the end of the day, it's not about at junior level. It's not about the school board. It's about sports offer so much than just the school board. It's about becoming a winner in life and sport and using those lessons that you learn in sport and taking them into real life. If it's done properly, it could be very well. And also for competitors, for athletes, we have something called Becoming a Triple Impact Competitor. Train student athletes how to impact sport on 3 levels by working to improve themselves, their teammates, and the sport as a whole. So we have something for all stakeholders in sport on an island. And again, it doesn't, when we're talking about coaching, it doesn't deal with the tactical and technical aspects. It deals with the mental
aspect of it.
Yeah.
We often see events such as this put on, but I think it's few and far between, only because the information is vital for our country at this time, for people to understand the makeup of a sport and helping youngsters to get educated and so forth. How can we get more of these events, not so compact in one weekend kind of thing, kind of stretch it out, only because if school's just back, or school's going back, if people already have plans already and it's late, they're finding out late, sort of, can we see these things stretched out over the course of a year to offer people a wider variety of knowledge-based information?
That's a good question, Errol. If we're dealing with overseas entities, it will be hard to talk about that. If we do have one person on island who deals with long-term athlete development, so we will have to discuss different things like that to try to have an ongoing
or maybe we can
situation.
Or maybe we could put out that if anyone wants to become a trainer of or a lecturer of that, they can go to these.
Right, or maybe we get a person
on island. That's what I'm saying. You go away to get trained. Right.
That's actually a good point, and I might have to look into that, being that I've gotten to an agreement with this particular company out of Canada. But the main thing is with this workshop is to, if people participate and they learn what they're supposed to learn, sport in general improves. Because they take this information and they could go back to the sport club or their national sport governing body and implement this and improve the program. So right now in sports, it's the haves and the have-nots. Like just like how it is in society. Some sports are better equipped with development and training and all that than others. So what the department is looking to do is really open it up to everyone to come get the exact same information that the haves are getting.
And disseminate it.
and
Amongst the
right. So in that time, the product of sport on Ireland hopefully raises a notch
Mm-hmm.
because everyone is being exposed to the same thing.
Right.
So it promises to be a good weekend. Title is Re-Imaging Sports.
Mhm.
It's another reason why it's entitled Re-Imaging Sports, because I think the way sport is viewed in this country, we need to re-image it. We need to really change the image of sports so that it's viewed how it's supposed to be viewed,
Mm-hmm.
and the benefits it provides
Well,
to.
but we're masters at bringing each other down. So that
Well,
is open.
But you know what's funny? What he's saying is correct. So I was listening to a sports cast out of the United States and a sports cast out of the UK. Now, three of you don't know each other. And each person said the same thing. We bring down sports. The American said it. The UK said it. He's saying the same thing in Bermuda.
Mm,
And why is that? Because everyone wants to win,
Mm-hmm.
right? But you win through development.
Right.
mhm.
You win through going from this ladder to that ladder.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's basically what you guys putting on this sports conference is learning from this and taking it to go to that level.
Mm.
It's not always about the W, about winning.
No.
And that's what people don't understand.
No, but also culturally, we haven't portrayed a good message about sport, because we're constantly sending out subliminal messages that sports isn't important.
Right.
It isn't important.
We constantly send out messages, subliminal
Not directly,
messages,
but
that
the way,
sports
yeah.
is not important, and that's done. I give one example: PE time
Well,
lowered in schools. That's a
well,
subliminal saying that
It's not
PE or
important.
sport is not really that important.
But
Another one,
but
you have
real
teachers
simple, real
saying,
simple there. That's your government, whoever the day, not this one, but previous ones too, who allowed that. That's just 101. I agree with you. That's my point.
you know, so subliminal message like that. Oh, you're not going to play football or cricket until you finish this homework. So subliminally, you're telling the child that
Sports, yeah, secondary.
it's secondary. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's sport goes hand in hand with academics.
Sure you do.
You know, and if we start sending out proper message as a people, you can't just rely on the government or this entity or that entity to do it. It has to be a society thing.
Exactly.
Everybody pulls in, and we celebrate our athletes. We really go in and say, look, we need to develop our sport,
Right.
and it starts in the schools. But
Mhm.
you know, we really have to start viewing sport differently, which is why I entitled it Re-Imaging Sport, which is why I invited athletes to speak who have done something within their respective sports
For sure.
to really hit that message home. You know, I mean, we have a lot of topics going on around the world. I'm sorry, in Bermuda, but none of them is sports. You know, we're talking about, it's a lot of the plethora of topics.
Exactly. And
You
you're
know,
right. It's not sports.
Maybe we need to invite principals.
or you know, or yeah, I'm gonna send out the invite. I'm
Yeah.
gonna send out a lot of invites, and I hope to have some.
I'm a constant sayer that not every child learns inside a classroom.
No,
It's proven.
that's very true.
Yeah.
It's so proven.
Very true.
And
So
sports could be that extra tool they need to help them to move along in life.
You know what's funny? So when Earl and I are just a little younger than you, right? So
Just
coming
a
along,
touch.
just a
Just-
touch.
yeah.
So coming along, right? We didn't have sports management.
mhm,
Sports management came on when we finished university in 1989, 1990.
right.
So that's where you're at.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
my point is that you have a degree in sports management through sports.
Well,
Right.
the thing,
And people don't look at that. But now they're starting to recognize it now, 2019.
Right.
That's where I'm going.
right. So the thing is why I'm an advocate for sport is because sport did so much for me. I got through school with sport. Being a halfway decent cricketer opened up doors in society for
Correct,
me.
yeah.
You know, representing along with being educated and representing yourself well. You
Right.
know, it opens up doors if you play your cards right. So all I'm trying to do is give someone else a chance to really develop themselves, whether it be in tennis, lacrosse, football, rugby. I'm just for sport, you know, and I just want to give kids that were like me
That
back in
opportunity.
the early 90s an opportunity to make a name for themselves, get educated, and come back and be a successful member of our Bermudian society.
There you go.
because not everyone's going to do it academically.
No, like you guys said, everyone's not meant to be in a classroom.
Right.
Real quick, the event is when, the dates, and where's it going to be held, and tickets. And
Thank
things
you,
like
sir. Event, Reimaging Sport Conference, will all be at the Bermuda College. People will get more information once they register. You can find registration forms on the government portal. That's www.gov.bm. You can also find hard copies at International Sports Shop, Sports Lock in Town, Pro Shop, and Sports Source up in Haywards. And it's September 6th to 8th. So Bermuda play Panama on the Thursday. Hopefully they inspire a nation to say, hey, I want to get involved in sports. I want to get educated, a little personal development, and come to the conference. Registration deadline closes September 4th. So today is August 19th. You have about 3 weeks to get your registration sorted. Also, you can get registration forms at our offices at Craig Epping House. All registration forms and fees will have to be paid at the Craig Epping House prior to September 6th.
Cool. All right. Any final other comments? We wrap up, sir?
Going back to watch Bermuda play and continue to represent our country well, and you never walk alone.
That's what I'm talking
You
about.
took credit for getting Xavier out yesterday, right?
I claimed that victory.
I knew you claimed it. I knew you claimed it.
I claimed that victory.
I said, look at him over there. Just
I
said
claimed
it. You
that
can't
victory.
get him off the security, man. Next boy, back.
No, not even that. I was telling Xavier. I played against Xavier under 19 level
Right,
in Jamaica. He's from
Right.
Jamaica, so he was a prolific run scorer in Jamaica.
right,
George O'Brien got him out in that tournament.
right,
Oh, wow.
So I said, George will get you out just like under 19.
right,
And he says, we'll see about that.
right.
You know, I was a proud heckling fan.
Oh, yeah,
And so I started talking, and George got him out.
Right, yeah.
So of course I took that.
Yeah.
And George's celebration was holding in
Got
his
in his
pocket.
pocket. Yeah, got in his pocket.
You know, and it's just us how sports doors, it
Yeah.
connects
Right.
people. I haven't
Yeah.
seen that man since under 19s.
Right,
And here he comes representing a different country. And
Yeah.
he said that same building from Bermuda's going to get you out.
yeah.
And it happened.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
That was a tremendous bowl to build Stephen Taylor.
No, that's it. Gosh, I mean, George Bilbao yesterday. It was a good game. I was a proud Bermudian yesterday,
Right, right.
as I've been with sports here lately.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to see it continue.
Right.
Yeah.
All sport.
We just have to
you
keep
know.
encouraging. And you're right. Regardless of the result, we have to just keep encouraging because
That was a lot that
it's,
needs.
it's groups coming behind that
That's
also
right.
is going to need that.
That was a whole, I mean, to keep it going, that's a whole nother conversation that I'm not sure you have time for right now.
Mm,
Might be another show. But developmentally, we have to do what's right
mm,
to ensure that because right now we expect professional results with amateur
yes, yes,
development
right.
or amateur preparation.
Yes,
Sorry.
yes.
So if we can just invest just a little more money into our development
Mm-hmm.
and preparation, the results will come.
Yeah.
We have talented people on this island.
I wish that from primary school up there'd be more sports in the school. That's, to me,
That's
our
another
that's our-
conversation,
but that-
man. I
I know
don't
it's
even
not-
wanna
I know,
start,
I know, but
you
that's
know.
our farm system because you can pick a plethora of athletes. That's where they all come from primary school to middle school or high school, whatever system's going to be in the future.
And primary school
That's
levels are
what it-
natural.
Exactly.
You
Hey, look, anytime you guys need a sport pundit to really come in and hammer him an opinion,
Hey, let me clear
I
my eyes.
could come here monthly, you know, and start
Let me
talking.
clear my eyes. Stephen Arterich here.
Oh, that's another one.
That's another one. That's another one.
I got you, Stephen. I got you, Stephen.
There's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So I'll see you Saturday, 1:30. See, Arsenal. There you go.
Yep, I'll be abroad
Okay.
in Philadelphia, but that's tuned in. That's
Tuned in.
That's 3 points in the bag. We don't lose at Anfield. We're gonna keep the good. Not on Saturday. Yeah. Not on Saturday.
I'll be the first to call.
Not on
See, because I don't have a team, I can do that.
Yeah, St. George is your team.
That's
man.
right.
Your team.
Different league, right? Different
Yeah,
sport.
yeah.
Different sport.
Yeah, man.
It's all good. Well,
Yeah.
look, we wish you all the best on,
Yes,
on the
I-
6th to the 8th, man.
Thank you. I
All right.
appreciate you guys for
Not a problem.
having me here, and
You're
see
welcome
you
back
guys around.
anytime. All right.